into loving each other for the sake of Allah. The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it's narrated once again. عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه, on the authority of Abu Hurairah قال, he said, قال رسول الله, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, إن الله يقول يوم القيامة, Allah will say on the day of resurrection, أين المتحابون بجلالي اليوم أظلهم في ظلي يوم لا ظل إلا ظله. Allah is going to come on the day of resurrection and say, أين المتحابون فيا, where are those who loved each other for my sake? Today I will shade them on the day that there is no shade. On the authority of Malik al-Ash'ari قال, he said, كنت عند النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. Listen carefully to this hadith inshallah ta'ala. كنت عند النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. I was with the Messenger of Allah صلى الله عليه وسلم. فنزلت هذه الآية. This verse came down. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تسألوا عن أشياء إن تبد لكم تسؤكم. The meaning is irrelevant for the rest. قال, then he said, فَنَحْنُ نَسْأَلُهُ. We were with the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So we asked him and said, we asked him a question and he said, إِنَّ لِلَّهِ عِبَادًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has servants. لَيْسُوا بِأَنْبِيَاء وَلَا شُهَدَاء. Allah has servants who are not prophets. Neither are they those who fought in the cause of Allah and died. They were not martyrs either. But what's going to happen? يَغْبِطُهُمُ النَّبِيُّونَ وَالشُّهَدَاء. The prophets and the martyrs are going to be jealous of them. The day of resurrection. There's going to be people who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given an exclusive station to on that day, that the prophets of Allah and the martyrs, despite their great station with Allah, they're going to be jealous of them. The companions, they said, why is that the case? And then the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam replied and said, بِقُرْبِهِمْ وَمَقْعَدِهِمْ مِنَ اللَّهِ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. Because of how close they are going to be to Allah. Allah is going to bring certain servants as His close to Him. And then the prophets and the martyrs are going to become jealous. Then he says, قال حدثنا يا رسول الله من هم. Malik al-Ash'ari, he says, who are they? Who are these people that the prophets and the martyrs are going to be jealous of? They are going to be brought close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I wonder who they are. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, the Messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم said, هم عباد من عباد الله من بلدان شتى وقبائل شتى من شعوب القبائل لم تكن بينهم أرحام يتواصلون بها ولا دنيا يتباذلون بها يتحابون بروح الله يجعل الله وجوههم نورا ويجعل لهم منابير من نور ولا يفزعون ويخافون الناس ولا يخافون. اللهم اجعلنا منهم يا رب. اللهم اجعلنا منهم ya Allah, make us from them. The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, they are people who come from various different countries. They're not the same ethnicity. And they come from various different tribes. They're not from the same tribe either. Their tribes and cities and countries have absolutely nothing in between them whatsoever. They don't have any kinship between them that connects them. They're not family, blood related. They don't have any dunya that connects them. They're not business partners. They don't work at the same place. Absolutely nothing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, their special characteristic trait is that they loved one another for Allah's sake. And who's going to be jealous of them? The prophets and the martyrs. They don't know each other. They came from different places. Absolutely nothing between them. They just loved each other for Allah's sake. They don't want nothing pertaining to dunya between them. They never met in an office. They never met in a shop. Nothing like that at all. They're not business partners or anything. The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam continued. He said their faces on that day will be nur. They'll be given light. Their faces will be light. They will be put on podiums made out of nur likewise. La yafza'un. They are not going to be, they won't have any form of shock to their system when the day of resurrection comes. Everybody's going to be scared. The Prophet ﷺ said, يَخَافُ النَّاسُ وَلَا يَخَافُونَ. The people on that day are going to be scared and frightened, but they're not going to be scared or frightened. Brothers, loving each other for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala goes a very, very far way. My advice to you is that you love each other for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's sake. As the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, لا تحاسدوا ولا تباغضوا. Don't hate one another. Don't be envious to one another. Don't have anything in each other's hearts. وَكُونُوا عِبَادَ اللَّهِ إِخْوَانًا. Be but brothers for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Love for the sake of Allah is something deep-rooted and given exclusively only to certain people. It's narrated in the Zuhd. Ibn al-Mubarak, he narrates and says, Abu Ja'far said, a man came to Hussein ibn Ali to seek help, and he found him in seclusion for worship. A man came to Hussein ibn Ali for help, and he saw them and he was secluded in what? Worship. He was praying salah, he was on his own, he wasn't mixing with people. And he said, were it not be for being in seclusion, I would have gone out of my way and helped you with what you needed. Then the man left and went to Al-Hasan ibn Ali. And he told him what he needed. And he went out to help him. And the man said, I don't like to bother you and ask you for help, but I started with Hussein. Who's Hussein ibn Ali and Ali ibn Ali and Hassan ibn Ali? The cousins of? Cousins. Grandsons. Of who? Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. First they went to who? Hussein. He said, Wallah, if I wasn't busy doing this worship, I would have helped you out. Then he went to Hassan and he helped him out. The man said to him, I don't like to bother you and ask you for help. So I started off with Hussein. And Hussein said to me, if it wasn't for me being secluded and busy with worship, I would have gone out of my way and helped you. And then Al-Hasan, he replies and says, to help a brother in faith of mine is dearer to me than secluding myself in worshipping Allah for a month. One entire month. There's many athar inshaAllah ta'ala which I could come and mention regarding love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's sake. Brothers, living in this country, living in the West in general, you must love each other for Allah's sake. Take out any hatred you have between one another. You have a problem with someone, go to him today after this lecture and say to him, Akhi, I'm sorry for anything that was between us. La ilaha illallah has come between us, which is heavier. Don't go to sleep having anything in your heart for your Muslim brother, regardless of what they've done to you. I believe there's nothing on the face of this earth that could be so big for you to not forgive your brother. How is it that you would allow such great virtue by being the close one to Allah on the day of resurrection, and the martyrs and the prophets being jealous of you for an ego in your heart? Brothers, in this country, if you're not like this, you only become like this. And then you have those predators waiting to seize that opportunity. Those predators, I've told you before, are in the form of humans and ideologies. Now,
So there's a Mercedes LO71 PYX, and it's blocking my Malim's. He can't come out.
Say again.
LO71 PYX.
Barakallahu feek. You have to be connected. You have to be one. The Prophet ﷺ said that the Muslims are one body. If one portion of it is sick, is ill, the rest of it must feel the pain as well. If you aren't connected to one another, if you don't love each other, if you don't help each other out, if you don't grab each other by each other's hands, wallahi al-azim thumma wallahi, you're waiting to be eaten by a group of predators. And we are prey. If we are not shields for one another, we are finished. Where are we going to be united is the question. What is it that's going to bring us together? What is it that's going to make us love one another? Is it because I'm Somali, you're Somali? La wallahi. I swear by Allah, alladhi la ilaha illahu. You today being Somali, I don't love you more than loving my brother here. I'll say that to you now. Is it because I taught you as well? I don't necessarily love you more for that reason. Is it because you helped me with my homework? La. Is it because we went to university together? Wallahi al-azim. Any external factor which might make me love you more would not be there without La ilaha illallah in its first place. I might love you more because of the ihsan, the good you're doing for me. I might love you more. Listen carefully to my point. It might make me inclined to you because of good that you are doing. But I don't love you solely for that reason. And if the default La ilaha illallah is not there, you're absolutely nothing to me. And your brother being in a difficult situation and should be more beloved to you than anything else. How is it that we hear today? And the reason I'm saying this, Akhi, with how many times do we hear, Akhi, did you hear so-and-so, he fell off? A'udhu billahi min dhalik. We seek refuge from that. Akhi, did you hear so-and-so, he fell off? Did you not hear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's speech where he said, كَذَلِكَ كُنْتُم مِّن قَبْلُ فَمَنَّ اللَّهُ عَلَيْكُمْ? You were just like him a few years ago. What did Allah do? He bestowed His bounty upon you. Where is this verse in your life? Where is it that you judge others, so-and-so fell off? Look at him. Where do we get this mindset of nafsi, I'm thinking about myself? Inshallah ta'ala, that's the advice, which is the second last advice. Inshallah ta'ala, the last advice I want to conclude on is two more advices. The first one, inshallah, is many of us, we practice Islam. Many of us might be newly practicing. Some might not be newly practicing. Some might have been practicing more than others. There's a phenomenon that I've come across. Living in the West, more specifically being mixed with brothers who want to learn the deen. Just seeing it in da'wah. Brother, he used to have a personality, an identity, characteristics of his, such as he used to be funny. He used to be someone who dresses good. He used to take care of the way he looks. He used to do things like, he was someone who was fun around people. He was an antisocial amongst his family. Unfortunately, what happens? The person jumps on deen. He starts to leave his ways. He becomes closer to Allah. And then what does he do? He becomes the most boring person on the face of this earth. He becomes the biggest burden upon his family. He doesn't even say one joke. His face is blunt. He starts to wear the most backdated trainers. He doesn't wear his, what was it, Balenciaga? What's the other one? The ones that looks like Crocs. He doesn't wear them. He doesn't care the way he looks. He doesn't laugh and joke with the people. Brothers, the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, إِنَّ الدِّينَ يُسْرٌ. Indeed, the religion is easy. وَلَنْ يُشَادَّ الدِّينَ أَحَدٌ إِلَّا غَلَبَهُ. There is no one who makes the religion hard upon himself except that the deen will overtake him. How true is this hadith? Brothers become practicing. They leave everything off. They leave their job. They sit in the masjid all day, revising, memorizing. They go home, they're depressed and sad. They are not someone who enlightens their family's day. They don't joke, they don't look after what they look. They want to look good and buy good things. What they have this notion of, now that I'm on deen, I can't do these things. Have we not seen that a lot of those brothers fall off deen again? Have we seen this or not? It's exactly what the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. What did Allah say in the Quran? وَنُيَسِّرُكَ لِلْيُسْرَى. O Muhammad, we will make the easy one easy for you. What's the easy one? We will make the easy sharia easy for you. Brothers, Islam didn't tell you to lose your personality. Islam didn't tell you to lose your characteristics. Islam didn't prohibit for you to have a shakhsiyah, a personality which is unique to you. My advice to you is, be someone who keeps his personality and molds it within the boundaries of the Sharia. Who said you can't look good? Who said you can't be a comedian? لا بأس بذلك. All you need to do is make sure it's in the boundaries of the religion. Unfortunately, this notion is very, very widespread in our times. And the sad thing is, it goes against what the deen says. It would be understandable if what? If the deen actually says you can't laugh, you can't buy good things, you can't this, you can't that, then the person becomes practicing and he does those things. The deen doesn't even say this. Where has it come from? So inshallah ta'ala, my last advice is religion is simple. Religion is easy. Religion is something enjoyable. Islam has come to put happiness in the hearts of the people. Islam has come to bring joy and contentment and tranquility to us. Don't make the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala difficult upon yourself. Inshallah, I was contemplating whether or not I should give the last advice, but I'll give it inshallah. It's something which I have seen, I've experienced recently traveling, and I've also come to the understanding that it's another phenomenon that exists within the practicing society of the Muslims. Brothers, we have forsaken our parents. We have forsaken our parents. I'll say it again. We have forsaken our parents in the name of Islam. A phenomenon that I've seen is someone starts practicing. He will say he's going to classes when his parents want him to help him out at home. He becomes practicing. You never see this person saying good to his parents. Islam was meant to change us and change our relationship with our parents. Brother, I'm starting off with myself. Brothers, our parents, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He gave them a station that nobody else has. Our mother looked after us when we were young. She looked after us in her womb when she didn't have to. She went through months and months and months of difficulty. There's times she didn't sleep. Your mother was there for you when nobody was there for you whatsoever. Your mother loves you more than anyone else. How many times have we shown that to our parents? How many times have we gone to our parents and shown them love? How many times have we taken our friends over our parents? How many times have we been called to gatherings? And our parents also likewise want to spend time with us. But they have to be lonely in that living room on their own whilst you have fun. How many times have you spoken good about your mother or your father to your friends? Wallahi, thumma wallahi, we have come short on our parents. And once again, I believe this is a phenomenon within the West. It's come through Western ideology. It's the people in the West that have this embedded in their culture. What do you see? The person gets older, he becomes 18, 19, 20, 21. What do? Take their mothers to care homes. Take their fathers to care homes. Brothers, my advice, my sincere advice, and I said that to you because I've seen it recently when I was traveling. Our mothers and fathers won't be here for long. And we have a golden opportunity. Spend time with your mothers whilst they're healthy. Take care of your fathers whilst they're healthy. There's a story which I came across, which is narrated to me, which really showed me the love of our mothers for us more specifically. And I keep saying mothers because we love our fathers as well. We love them dearly with the bottom of our hearts. But the Messenger ﷺ gave an exclusive love to who? To our mother. So I want to focus on her. There were two boys, and these two boys, their mother became very old. So one of them would look after them for a month or two, then the other would look after her for a month or two. They would change it up. But she's very sick. One of them, he starts to argue with his brother to say, let me take over and I will look after her full time. I will never bring her to you. Let me take the burden. And he argues with him. He says, no, I want the reward. How dare you make me miss the opportunity of attaining the pleasure of my mother? So they go back and forth. The reason why the first guy said, let me just look after her, is because he said, my house is bigger. He was a lot more richer. He had a lot more time as well. But also he said, transferring our mother from one house to another every week is difficult. Because she's paralyzed, she's lying on a bed, she doesn't move around. So she needs extra care. They normally bring a huge van or a huge car or a huge, whatever you want to call it, bus, to take her using the exact same bed on from one house to another. For what reason? Because he wants to attain the pleasure of his mother. So they go back and forth. They bring the family in. They argue with each other. I want to look after her full time. She wants to look after her full time, etc. So what happened was, this is a true story. It occurred in Saudi Arabia. That was because they were not agreeing court for it. So they took him to court. They go back and forth. What are your reasons? What are your reasons? What are your reasons? What are your reasons? And then the judge at the end, he says, I can't choose between you guys. Your reasons aren't necessarily valid. So I'm going to ask the mother what she wants or what she sees as feasible. And we know mothers, what do we hear? They love the younger one the most. Wallahi, it's not true. If there was a day that she had to choose between you two, wallahi, she would not choose between you two. And what she says is very profound, to the extent that she would go this far. She says, she starts to cry. And she says, today I kindly request that you split my body in half and take half of me to one house and half to the other. Because she likewise can't choose between them. She's not inclined to anyone. Brothers, our mothers are very special to us. Our mothers deserve everything on the face of this earth. They go out, they work, single mothers. They cook, they clean. They only want good for you. The one person on the face of this earth who genuinely wants good for you is your mother. We've come very short with regards to their rights. So that's my last advice, inshallah ta'ala, which is to get out of this mindset. Get out of this Western ideology, mindset of parents not mattering. They don't matter. This is wrong. Wallahi al-Azim, Allah will question us. We'll stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We'll be questioned where we went wrong with the rights of our parents. Why did we not look after them? Why did we not show love to them? Why did we not hug them every time, kiss them when we come in the house? Who deserves more love? A woman you met today who didn't know when you couldn't wash your backside? These are for the married brothers. Compared to your mum, who was there when you was nothing. You was there when you had absolutely no power, no authority. She was there for you. There's many books that are written about walidain, birrul walidain. And I believe, to be honest, lectures, series, lessons, duroos should be done. Athar, how are our salaf with our parents? Some of them would delay marriage just because they were looking after their parents. And when I say delay, it would get to a point they get so old, their parents still hasn't died, so they die before them and they didn't get married. What do we hear nowadays? Ustadh, I'm in a situation, could you give me advice? I'm speaking to a sister for marriage. I really want to marry her. But mom's saying, nah, don't wait, look after me. What is this? Where did it come from? We need to ask ourselves, how did it enter our lives as Muslims? It's our surroundings and not being conscious about it. If I speak too long about our parents, I don't think I'll be able to because of the emotion it will bring. And the reason why I was very skeptical is because I don't like to talk about intimate topics a lot of the time. Brothers, go back to your parents, your mothers, your fathers. Never in your life think that you can repay them. If they are not in the country with you and they live somewhere else, call them every single day. If they live with you, do everything they say. If it means you stay up and don't sleep and you get sick and you're diseased, do it. If it means you have to boycott your friends for your parents, do it. Your mother. Inshallah ta'ala, I'll stop there. As I said before, it's all I could think of in terms of advices. And I really believe that they are all relatable advices for anyone living in the West. And I feel as though if I don't share those with you, I could be either deceptive, I could be unfair and unjust to you all. And I believe the fact that I've seen these 6 or 7 points with my eyes living here, it's only right we share them with each other. Our success and happiness and joy in this life is connected to those 6, 7 points. Inshallah ta'ala, if you can stick to them, you will be in a good station with Allah and everyone else that you're also connected with. Anything which I've said which is good is from Allah. Anything which I said which is wrong, mistake or slip of the tongue is from me and shaitan. Wallahu wa rasuluhu bari'ani min. Allah and His Messenger are free from it. Subhanak Allahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. We'll do a quick question and answer session, inshallah. And then we'll conclude there, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. The sisters as well, if you have any questions, if you pass them down to someone who can bring them up and then leave them at the door, inshallah, will be appreciated. Yeah, any questions? Nobody has questions. Naam. The brother asked, a lot of people are leaving du'at, so-called du'at. I don't consider myself as one, that's why I said so-called, by the way. Not for other brothers. But what is your advice in terms of seeking knowledge, lessons? Where would you direct us to go? Wallahi, it's a good question. It's a very good question. If I split the answer into two, a practical answer and a spiritual, untangible answer, The practical example is find a teacher who you trust, go to them, stick with them, befriend them. I don't mean become their servant. That's not what I mean. When I say befriend them, stick with them, I do not mean to be connected to one teacher your whole life and think he has mafatihul ghaib, the keys to the unseen. La. Go to a teacher who you believe is sincere, clean-hearted, upon the Sunnah, and ask him to teach you a curriculum. Say to him, give me a curriculum which you can teach step by step that has a beginning and end. Don't study with a teacher who has no curriculum for you, but he just says, study under me, etc. So that's point number one. Practical places you could possibly go to, inshallah. There's a masjid which I highly recommend. Is Masjid Imam al-Nawawi. Recent masjid in East London that got built. Very small, tight-knit community. But mashallah, tabarakallah. From what we see of the brothers, they're very sincere. They are very gradual in teaching the people. They are systematic. They are consistent. They don't charge any money. And I really believe someone can benefit from them. Institutes you can go to if you have money, likewise, Medina College. Medina College. The spiritual answer, inshallah, the untangible answer is وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَيُعَلِّمُكُمُ اللَّهُ. Fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, be truthful to Allah, exert your effort, and Allah will teach you. How many have we seen that have gone abroad to seek knowledge, but have come back with nothing? When I say nothing, I mean a substantial knowledge which has changed them as human beings, and then they've benefited their people as well. Kathir, many. Do you guys know how many people get accepted to the universities every year? Medina, we're talking around the world, 300-400 students, 500 students, 400, no, maybe not 500, 300 students a year. Out of those 300, maybe 100 or 70, I would say, are from the UK. Out of 70, those that graduate every single year and come back, let's say they're 25%. How many is that? 15 people. People go and come back. How many people have you seen gone to Egypt? They come back, haven't benefited that much. How many people go to other countries? Pakistan, Mauritania. Many people go and come back. If the person exerts their effort, puts their trust in Allah, and does what they can do, and is truthful to Allah, Allah will teach them. Sheikh Muhammad Saleh al-Uthaymin, there was one of the teachers in Riyadh, one of the universities in Riyadh, a student who came to the university, and he knew everything already. And he was from which country? Albania, I believe. He's from where? Albania, Albanian student. The da'wah in the UK compared to anywhere else in the West is far apart. You guys, we're in a ni'mah. Big ni'mah, alhamdulillah. We ask Allah to increase it for us. But he was in Albania. The teachers were flabbergasted, confused. How do you know everything? He said, I listened to up to 5,000 hours of Sheikh Muhammad Saleh Uthaymin's lessons on YouTube. كم استفاد ذاك? How much has that person benefited? What he benefited could be more than what someone benefited befriending Sheikh, one of the biggest mashayikh in Saudi Arabia for 20 years. Why? He took his means. What was best for him? Learning at home on YouTube. Going through things systematically. Being patient. Hard work. But he was truthful with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So inshallah, practically you can go to those places, which I have seen personally. Not to say there's nowhere else, by the way. There is other places. But personally for myself, they're the places I would recommend and I know of. But even you going there won't confirm you're going to benefit. You have to be truthful with Allah and fear Him, and He will teach you, inshallah ta'ala. No. How do you know you love someone for the sake of Allah? That's a very good question. Again, we can do 10 lectures on this, 20 lessons on it. But to summarize, it's when, if there was absolutely zero things from the dunya to connect you, your love is still there for him. I'll give an example. You became friends with someone through business. If the moment that business breaks down, that love is not between you guys anymore, then it wasn't truly for Allah's sake. There's no middle thing. There's nothing there connecting you. It's just La ilaha illallah. This person has testified there's no Lord worthy of worship. He could be poor, he could be short, tall, chubby, skinny, whatever. This person says La ilaha illallah. I love him for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sake. Just that one statement, bis. If there's external factors affecting it, that love is not purely for Allah's sake. Does that answer the question? External factors need to be completely taken out of your relationship. What I mean by that is you can still do business together, don't get me wrong. But if that business fades away, your love is still there for him. Does that make sense or not? Another sign of love for Allah's sake is that you people are genuinely friends for Allah's sake. The thing that brought you together is Islam, going to classes, you help each other memorize Quran. Something that brought you together is to do with Islam. You can know in those two ways. Who here has, because I've mentioned this quick story about the two boys who loved each other for Allah's sake. Who has not heard it? Put your hand up. And then one of them died and they were smiling whilst they were dying. If you have not heard it, put your hand up. Yes, good, good, I'll mention it inshallah. I've mentioned it twice so far, so I thought many of you might have already heard it. Love for Allah's sake is this, and it's actually narrated by the Prophet ﷺ. There were two friends, and they loved each other for no other reason but Allah's sake. I.e., the thing that brought them together was ibadah. They used to compete with one another in worship. This one would pray qiyam, he would pray qiyam. He would give this much zakah, he would go, he hears so-and-so paid this much zakah, he would pay more. He heard this man's fasting these days, he tries to catch him and fast more days. So their friendship, so this point is friendship for Allah's sake, was purely and solely deen brought them together. Are you with me or not? One day what happened is, they heard that there is a group of disbelievers that are invading the city. So the disbelievers would start going into houses, take the things in the house, kill the people. Yani a war to say. So what did they see? An opportunity for what? To become shaheed. So they both got ready. They said, we're going to take part in this war. Did they think to themselves, let me step back? La. They saw it as an opportunity to beat one another, to die in Allah's path. What happened next? One of them was taken hostage. And when they brought him away out of the city, they were torturing him. Days go by. Then they said, now is your day, you're going to leave this world, we're going to kill you. Death sentence. As they're about to kill him, he starts to smile. Why is he smiling? He says they were confused. He said, why are you smiling? They got angry at him. Strange. We're about to kill you and you're smiling, you're happy. He says, I finally have an opportunity to be my friend to Jannah. Then the moment they said that, two men walked in. He said, sorry, did we hear something? Repeat what he said. He said, I finally have the opportunity to be my friend to Jannah. If you kill me, I'm a shaheed. Then they said, what's your friend's name? Your friend's name, what is it? He says the name. And then they say to him, your friend was caught in the exact same situation. We were about to kill him as he was held hostage. He started to smile and he said, I'm going to beat my friend to Jannah. And they killed him before you. Then he started to cry and cry. And then they took his life. This is love for Allah's sake. This is friendship for Allah's sake. The only thing here between you is You helped me with deen. You helped me get better spiritually. You're helping me stay away from the hellfire. You're bringing me closer to Jannah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us friends like that. What would your advice be to a revert sister wanting to go to Egypt to study? Where would you advise one to go if they do not understand the Arabic language? Jazakallah khairan. First of all, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to ease the path of knowledge for anyone who seeks it. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to more specifically make it easier for our revert brothers and sisters. Because they are on a path that no one else who's not a revert is on. They have struggles that are exclusive to them. So we ask Allah to make it easy for them. In terms of advice on someone who wants to go, I would advise, inshallah, go if your family circumstance makes it feasible for you, such as you don't have dependents, you don't have anything specifically connecting you to stay in the UK, you don't have things that are obstacles for you, such as family and everything else. I would advise go. When you go with a group of sisters, inshallah ta'ala. Go with a group of sisters. And inshallah, it will be permissible for you to go as well. But don't let anything stop you from going. Because the person is a revert, I would, however, say, have a period from the time you became Muslim to before you go, which you develop your spirituality first. Don't go straight away. Don't become a Muslim and then straight away go to Egypt to learn the deen. La. Start off in your country. Build your spirituality by having a group of sisters that you're friends with. Go to classes locally. Maybe have a sister who's a mentor for you. Possibly as well get married if you can. Not straight away. Because you need to develop yourself as a Muslim. A lot of people, they get married as soon as they start practicing. When they themselves are not ready spiritually for marriage. So generally I would say, inshallah, focus on yourself first. 1 year, 2 years, maybe even 3 years. Be connected to a sisterhood. Be connected to a society, a community that you belong to. Because at the moment, if you're a revert and your family hasn't accepted Islam, you need that community, you need that family of sisterhood. Make that before you go, inshallah ta'ala, because it can be very lonely. In terms of where you should go, there's many places. But I would say generally, you should learn in a institute. Best institute that I ever heard of, I haven't necessarily gone there, are institutes and marakis like Lisanul Arab. It's very beneficial, it's good. So you should go, inshallah, and benefit from places like that. But definitely don't go until you feel that you have put your 2 feet on the ground. That you are stable spiritually, socially, because you're going, there's a huge transition. You've just left kufr, disbelief, ma'asi. You've now embarked on a completely new path of life. Develop yourself for a bit, inshallah ta'ala, and then go. Don't go straight away. If your parents don't want you to attend classes, but it is essential to your worship of Allah, should you attend or skip this class? If your parents want you to stay at home and not go to classes, I'm not giving you as an advice. I'm commanding you to do so. Do not move a foot. I'll say that again. If your parents don't want you to go to a class, they're telling you don't go to the class, and you can't persuade them, do not go to that class. Is that clear or not clear, guys? Obedience of parents takes precedence over what? A sunnah act of learning in a masjid. Can you learn that knowledge elsewhere? Yes. If you can't, it's a different scenario. If there's absolutely nowhere on the face of this earth for you to learn that knowledge, that is an obligation upon you and it's essential for your worship, then you have to disobey your parents. Why? Because now this knowledge is wajib for you to attain. Because your iman is connected to it. And it might take you out of the fold of Islam because you don't know these principles, these foundations of Islam. But that's not the situation. We're in the 21st century. You can learn these things online. You can tune in online. Are you with me or not? If your parents are telling you, however, don't even seek knowledge at all. Don't go on YouTube. I don't want you to learn the religion of Islam. Then you disobey them. But if there's a lesson, which is a Sunnah class, what's being taught isn't necessarily essential within your life. You might know it already. Or it might even be Sunnah knowledge, which is not incumbent upon you to learn and know. Obey your parents, inshaAllah ta'ala. And again, we go back to what? Be truthful to Allah. Be sincere to Allah. Do as much as you can. Take your other means. Maybe try to read this knowledge. Maybe go on YouTube and learn it. And Allah will teach you better than you could have, inshaAllah ta'ala. Go into that class. Any other questions, inshaAllah? Any other questions? Advice for brothers working and in the corporate world. Which kind of advice? How to balance. How to balance between someone in the corporate world and trying to also seek knowledge, be a good Muslim and everything else. There's one principle, inshaAllah ta'ala, which you can use and then tailor it around that and do what you want, which is, or two principles. Number one, brothers, don't compare yourself to others. Don't compare yourself to others. This question, it normally comes, someone who's in the corporate world, who sees someone else who's not in the corporate world seeking knowledge full time. Or someone else who memorized the Quran when they were a child. Or someone else who learned the deen when they were young. Are you guys there or not? This question normally comes with those kind of circumstances. Don't compare yourself to them. Don't look at his life. Don't be someone who says, but I need to memorize the Quran, so I need to do 4 or 5 times a week. You might not be able to do that. You might have available 1 or 2 days a week. You might have the availability to go to 1 class a week. What do you need to do? Don't compare yourself to others. Tailor your schedule to your schedule, your work schedule. Do it over a consistent period at a slower rate, and inshallah you'll make it. So let me give you a practical example. Someone works 9 to 5. They have weekends available. They gave 9 to 5, 8 hours, 5 days of the week to dunya. When I say dunya, I mean feeding their family, earning a living, sustenance, which is good as well. I can actually say, if I want to be not really harsh, if I was to say, give 2 days, which are 8 hours, to learning the deen, would that not be, I don't want to say fair, but would that not be a good shot? I'm not even saying that. Because look, we're saying 5 days work, 2 days full-time deen. Are you with me or not? I am not even saying that. I'm saying the 5 days that you are going to work, spend 1 hour each day learning the Quran. Spend 1 hour a day with the Quran. Is that a lot? Is that a lot? Is that doable? Yes. That 1 hour, you can maybe memorize 1 line. No problem.